Hello, everyone. This is Akata Wester. Thank you for coming back to the Rose of Venus. Today, we have a very special guest, a beautiful lady. We are from the same group in Galactic Astrology. She is also a certified hypnosis practitioner in many fields. But today, we would really like to talk about life empowerment, how one come from a place that were limited with difficulties, where she starts to walk her own path, even to New York to become an actress. So I bring you Carol Lucia Lopez. Hello, Carol. Thank you for
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me.
yeah. So where should we start? Why don't we start something like why you went to New York, what you wanted to do there, and then let's see how we go back to your story of your empowerment story.
Okay. I went to New York back in 97. I had just ended my 22-year marriage. My kids were in college, and I'd always wanted to live in New York City. So I was in New Mexico, in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I had the opportunity to go to a conference where I met the internship director from the Juilliard School, and she encouraged me to apply for an internship in arts administration. And I was 42 years old. I thought, an internship, and I have an MBA. I was working at a research institute. I was taking acting classes for fun, but I never thought about just leaving everything behind and moving and not knowing a soul in New York City. And then I said yes. I said, why not? And so I applied, I interviewed, I was accepted, and I worked for her for 9 months. And it was the most beautiful experience at the time of my life, because I was on my own for the very first time. No husband, no parents. 42 years old, and I'd always been with someone, never independent. And it was like starting over again with complete freedom. And I didn't ultimately work in arts administration because the salaries were too low. You can't survive in New York City on that kind of salary. At least I couldn't. But I learned so much, and I had the opportunity from working from a safe place to meet people, to learn how to get around New York City. And it was just an adventure, and it was just so much fun.
Wow, you remind me a little bit when I was 18 years old. I decided to go to Australia to study university. And not coming from a very rich family, is quite poor actually. My father told me I have money for the first year of school and 3 months of expense. Will you go? I said, I go. Like I was running. And I think that is the kind of opportunity that put us into a big decision
Yes.
to literally give up on everything that we can hang on, right?
Yes.
From old life. Yeah, I have goosebumps listening to you. So and and how does it you relate to the path of how you empowered yourself? I mean, maybe that is something you have been doing before that.
Well, I started probably when I was in my 30s. I came to a point of such despair, the way my life was going, my relationship with my former husband. I was just miserable, and I knew I needed to find something that was greater than me. And I discovered that's when my spiritual journey began. I discovered my higher self and my higher power, and I went on a journey. It was actually a 12-step journey, because I had an addiction to sugar. and I was using sugar and flour to numb my feelings. I could completely just check out using them. And it's very similar to using alcohol or other drugs. So I entered a 12-step program. I let go of that stuff. And I'm still pretty much, I eat flour, but I don't eat any sugar. And I feel like that brings clarity of mind. It brings a different perception of self. And I was finally able to get to the root cause of all the pain that I was feeling, at least part of the cause. There's so many layers of pain when you have um, relationships that didn't support you, or just, it's just life. We all go through that, or at least most of us do, I think. But it triggered me to want to start to grow and look at myself, just self-examination, self-awareness. This is what I'm doing. How can I change it? How can I don't like to use the word fix, because we don't need fixing. We need healing. If we have the reasons that we do things, and we may not know what the reasons, the causes are, but once we're aware that we're doing something and we want to stop doing them, then that's the time to start looking for a way to heal that. And I love the word healing, because it's all about releasing past pain, past trauma, past experiences that when we think of them, they bring us a discord. You don't feel good about certain things that when you remember them, you feel like, I wish I hadn't done that. But at some point, we have to just, I feel like we just have to let go of beating ourselves up about those things that we did or didn't do, and let go of the idea that we feel the guilt around it, the remorse, the shame. There's so many layers of feelings
Layers,
that are
yes.
buried. And with every one of those that we release, the more light we bring into our bodies, the more sense of our real self, our divine beings, we can feel and know that's who I am. We are each a divine being, and we have so much within us. And it's when we just let go of all those things that keep that light from shining within us, that we can fully actualize and become our authentic selves. That's my belief.
It seems as if I I think many of us, many lifetimes, we have been healers for many years, many lifetimes.
Yes.
And as if like if we don't suffer to a certain extent ourselves, we couldn't bring out the healing power that is in us. Like
Absolutely. Yeah,
we have to heal ourselves first in
exactly.
order to heal, to assist the others to help. And I don't know, like it just resonates so much for me. That's your story. Like this, our body that, okay, this your abuse of sugar and flours. And I was on the other end, I suffered so much of allergic reaction up to a stage that I can't even eat salad for the pollen that is on the salad leaves.
Mm.
And I end up twice in emergency room for allergic reaction. The last time it was like if the ambulance came half an hour later, I was gone.
Wow.
And yeah, that today we are here in telling it, like, it's a story.
But it was an experience that was traumatic and scary, and yeah, but I also have the belief that, yeah, like something like what you just said, we had to have these experiences and re-experience certain types of events from past lives so that we can remember who we are, and always trust that we are okay. We are fundamentally always protected and okay, no matter what happens. I use the word okay. It sounds like such a trite word, but it's really fundamentally we just are.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And so by realizing that there was some this as abuse of sugar and flour in your life, and you go through these 12 steps of healing, and after that, how did it bring you into the hypnosis field?
Well, I was living in New York City. I worked as an actor. I also worked at a law firm, and I was kind of burning the candle at both ends. And the pace of New York City, it's like everything has to happen yesterday. You have to really be on top of everything. And I just got burnt out. I was physically depleted, my adrenals over on hyperdrive. And I came to a point where the traditional medicine wasn't really helping. And it was right when COVID hit that I'd taken some time off of work to heal, and I discovered hypnotherapy online. I studied with Marissa Peer, rapid transformational therapy, and that was the beginning. And then from there, I like to have tools. I like people to have options, and I wanted options. I wanted to learn about past lives, so I studied beyond quantum healing so I could do past life regression. I decided there was something that didn't quite resonate with me about that practice. So I also learned what's called introspective hypnosis. And that I find is the most powerful tool in my toolbox because it gives me the opportunity to both look at what's creating pain in a person's life. Or we go back to sad memories, and those memories can go back in this lifetime, several instances, and then we go back to a past life if necessary, and we heal it in that lifetime. And it's incredibly powerful because we don't realize that things that happen to us in past lifetimes can be healed in this lifetime. Um, I bring in sound healing as well. I use tuning forks and singing bowls. So I have the individual, my client, we get to the source of the pain. I have them dialogue with whoever it is that created the pain, get their power back, and we find out where the pain is stuck in the body. We release it from the body and bring in light. And then I bring in the sound as well. And that frequency, sound is so powerful. I don't think people realize how powerful it is. So we bring that in, and it enhances the process because when they're in the subconscious mind is working. That's where 95% of all change takes place. That's where the power lies, in the transformation and the release. So a person will come to me, say, for example, a person came to me a couple of weeks ago with a past relationship that she was really bitter about. She couldn't let go of the pain. So we had a dialogue with her former partner. We had her dialogue with her mother and father. There was some abuse as well from one of her father's friends. And so when you can reclaim your power from those situations and have some closure around telling that other person exactly what you want to say and never had the chance to say, there's healing done there. And then everything gets done in one session. It's about a 2.5, 3 hour session. So we address all the issues that we talk about beforehand, and then we do a scan of the body before we're complete to make sure there's no attachments, because a lot of times when we are vulnerable or have had surgeries, or if people pass over and decide to attach to us, some of us are really, we're energetic beings, and people like our energy, they'll attach. So we do a scan to make sure that there's nothing attached to them, and if there is something, we release it. If there's still some emotion that's stuck, say we're afraid to move forward, sometimes it's in the feet or in the shoulders, or some part of our body is still stuck, we release that. So I do a very thorough job in releasing as much as is possible in one session so that they can move forward with a new sense of freedom
Mm.
and joy. And that is such an incredible gift that I'm grateful to be able to do for others. And it gives me joy as well to see them come in upset and anxious and then leave feeling so like light and joyful.
Well, actually, there's 2 points that I really want to discuss even further. The first thing is about scanning, body scan.
Mhm.
I learned with Penny Kelly that this consciousness, and we learn to get into the body of a person and scans either that is attachments or energy blockage and all that.
Mhm.
I found not that many people actually understand what a body scan in this sense is. It's not an x-ray
Oh,
into the
sure,
machine. Like,
sure.
it's hard for them to imagine that we can literally get in there energetically and see anything that doesn't work. How do you explain to people what you do with the scanning?
Well, I personally don't do the scan. I allow
Mm,
them to do it. I'm very energetically sensitive. So when
mm,
I pick up on somebody else's stuff, it distorts my sense of
mm,
perception because I'm just too sensitive. I don't want to take on other people's energies. So I always do protection of both of us. And then I have them do the scan. And in that state where they're in the trance state,
yes.
they can actually sense within themselves where those
Mm,
blockages are. And it's also empowering to have them do it because they can see that they have that ability and they just weren't aware of it. So I have them do the scan and they can better detect where things are stuck, a pain in the shoulder, a pain in the head, a pain
mm,
someplace, and then we talk to that pain. We give it a voice and we say, who are you and what are you doing there? And sometimes it's just a pain that's stuck from a emotion that's stuck, and sometimes
mm,
that's where the attachment can be located. They'll
yes.
say, "Oh, I came in when she was 6 years old because I liked her energy," or that can happen as well. So it's for me, I allow the client to do that scan. But
Oh,
yes, it's just a sense of um, I'm not sure that I explained it as well as you were asking, but for me, it's an inner knowing.
yes. Okay. Yes. 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 Well, I since I was learning as a healer, so okay, the energetic protection is actually very important, and that is actually one of the things that we need to learn to be even scanning, to be an observer rather than be the person. It's like we are two points of perspective at the same time. I am him or her. At the same time, I am not him or her. I really don't know how to explain it. And and like I am seeing myself from outside as this person and do the scanning from inside. And
Uh,
if there is something, for instance, one of my clients, I saw that in him there was a ball of energy that he couldn't like make it flow. That was just everything congest between the heart chakra and the solar plexus. So that is the energetic blockage that I saw, and what, as a healer, that at that moment my intuition tell me what to do to heal that problems there. So, and at the beginning when I started learning it, yes, that could be one of the problem being we are all very sensitive and to learn how to protect ourselves. And yeah, it's quite interesting. Anyway, I think but after when they come up from the hypnosis sessions, do they remember what they saw in their body or not?
Yes, for the most part, because they're not in so deep a trance that they can't remember everything. They're conscious of my voice. They're conscious of what I'm telling them, and they may not remember all the details. So I will often record it if they want it to be recorded, so that they can play it back and listen to it, and remember details that they might have forgotten. But the point about being able to do the scan, I'm still developing all of my psychic abilities. I'm taking a class with a teacher in Australia, learning
Mm-hmm.
innate healing, which is using all of the senses, all of the different clairsentience, clair, all of those things. And so I am not yet at the point where I can see into people's
Mm.
um, bodies, but I am learning that. So it's a development process, a practice, and I'm learning first to look at myself and heal myself and how to do all those things before I start working on others. But it's all about intention, and the power of intention is beyond anything that anyone really, I think, can imagine, because it's creation energy, and we often intend things that we do things without intending to do them because we aren't thinking about how powerful our thought is, our words are, the things that we do. We just do them thoughtlessly, and we don't expect things to happen because it just seems like, oh, I just did that. It's not consequential. But when you do things with intention, it's amazing the power of the spoken word, the I am. Anytime we place the words I am in front of
Mm.
anything, that is our
Yes.
declaration. And actually, that's why I stopped going to the 12-step program. It works for some people, but when I realized that I was saying I am powerless over, I just didn't want to do that anymore, because that's one of the things that everybody says, I'm powerless over sugar and flour, I'm powerless over alcohol. I didn't want to declare that anymore. And so I decided to take my power back. That's one of the things that I did, and realize that I'm responsible for what I eat and don't eat. And I can
Yes.
choose and intend to do things differently. And it's my responsibility. It's all about personal responsibility. It's not turning your power over to something or someone else, because that power lies within, with your connection to source, with your connection to your higher self.
Mm. Exactly.
So
Yep.
that's where I am with that.
Yes, that is one of the first things that I learned with my exoteric study, that knowing who you are. And I think that was one of those, like, we do a lot of invocation, and the invocation is already the part that I am, and I command
Yes.
this and that, and the others ascended masters to be present because I am asking them. I have this power. I
It's
think
so
you say,
beautiful.
why would Mother Mary came to me? Doesn't matter. You say it, and you believe in it, and Mother Mary is here for you.
Yes.
That's it. And yes, I think yes, the I am is really powerful, and it's something not, yeah, I think it's something that many still need to claim this power
Yes.
in them. Yeah.
Yes.
And would you like to talk about, like, how you help people in setting their intention then? with the sessions or after the session?
Well, what part of the process is in the intake, I will ask them what they want to achieve and
Mm-hmm.
how they want to feel. And another tool that I use is actually, it's called Psych-K. It's a process endorsed by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and the person that developed it, Rob um, Williams, downloaded this information. It's a process for balancing the hemispheres of the brain. And it uses simple statements, like they're like affirmations, but it works with the subconscious mind. So the balances are different physical positions that they take. So I ask people what they want to achieve, how they want to feel instead of what they're feeling now. And we write out these statements. Like I said, they're like affirmations, and we balance the body so that they become the new belief. So that works with Psych-K. It also works when I establish what the person wants to achieve during their hypnosis session. Their intention is to release whatever anxiety they're feeling, these emotions that are keeping them stuck. And that intention alone brings about, along with the process of me guiding them through the journey of this lifetime and past lifetimes, that brings them to that resolution at the end.
Beautiful. I think at some point is like well, there is a certain similarity with our galactic astrology quantum soul healing session, that okay, there is no hypnosis involved, but at least for me, my practice is, before I even start a chart, before I even accept a client, I send them out a list of questionnaire that is already very personal. It's like, are you ready? When they send back the answers, it's already the start of the session, actually.
Yes.
And while going through the sessions, and they know exactly, because answering my question, they know exactly what they are hoping to know, what they are
Yes.
searching, instead of me going left and right, try to guess. There's no guessing. Like, this person have this need of soul searching in a certain way, and of course many of us has gone through traumatic experience. So that is also one of the point, is like the sessions, when they go back to know why certain things happened, is already a healing progress. And yeah, at the end, I think we have many tools, all of us, right? And like, I am a Reiki healer, a Reiki master. Do I use, quote unquote, the Reiki practice? Yes, I do. And no, I don't. Depends. And and I give myself permission to go over it, not setting in the box as 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, and all this. So anyway, and I would really like to know that after this process of getting to know yourself and get over that healing experience for yourself, and now you are helping the others, how, if you need to put like a summary of this path here, how would you describe it? This this process from someone is always with your families, surrounded by the others, disempowered, to who you are today, doing this beautiful work.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the process continues. I think we're always growing. I love learning new things, and I don't feel like I've arrived anywhere. I'm at a point where I'm still healing. There are things that I discover every day that I have the tools to overcome. So it's a journey, and I absolutely love always growing on and continuing to heal. And with every person I meet, I realize there's something that we're mirrors to each other. There's something
Yes.
that in you that I see, that I recognize. Oh, I have that ability, and oh, I'd like to try that. And there's always an oh, I
Yes.
love that part of meeting new people and getting to know them, and recognizing things in me that maybe need to be healed, or maybe I want to grow at, and learn. And so, how going back to your question about how to come from that place of disempowerment, there has to be an inner desire that is so strong that you're not happy with where you are, and you want more than anything to come to that place of self-knowledge, of self-awareness, of being that authentic divine being that inherently that you are, but you're not quite sure how to find it, how to get there. So it's just looking and looking and looking and trying this and trying that, and okay, something might not work, and something may take you down a path that you didn't intend it to, like I did at one point, and then there's recovery from that. But it's all a lesson, it's all learning. There are no mistakes. They're all part of what bring us to the point where we are now, of being. And it's like learning to accept ourselves and forgive ourselves for the choices that we made that weren't for our best, our highest good, and acknowledging that it's okay to make mistakes, and that it's okay to keep going. We have to keep going. There is no stopping and hiding. Hiding doesn't work anymore. And I've done a lot of that because of my past lives, where I was killed or tortured or had my eyes poked out for being a seer, or hung, or whatever. We've all had these lifetimes. And so it's all about coming to that point of letting go of the fear, and knowing that we are here for a purpose in this lifetime, this is a crucial time of awakening for the entire, not just the planet, but what we do affects everything in the universe, and we don't realize how powerful a being each of us is. And when we come to that point of self-ownership and just allowing ourselves to be, then I think we can really contribute to the greater whole.
That was exactly how I was feeling. It's like 2 years ago, like when I was writing my first book. And all these voices from the past. And I mean, are you crazy? Do you remember you have been killed? Do you remember you have been raped? Do you remember you have been hanged? And while I was doing that, writing that book, I have a scar right across my neck, as if there was a rod pulling me. And all my face was so distorted. I couldn't even walk out from my home for 2 weeks at least. But the thing is, once we have decided that is what we want to do, that we want to heal, and there's no going back.
That's right.
Where do we go back? I mean, we have already left what we had.
Yes.
And so that is just keep on going. And the test comes every time you think, oh, today I can breathe. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. There's still some little part of you haven't done yet. Yeah, so oh my goodness, that is a very personal talk, very profound, I think. And yeah, before I close, would you like to like give some advice and
Other than what I've said, it's a matter of finding that courage, that willingness within you. You know, sometimes people want to do something, but then there's fear. And so I just encourage people or invite them to let that fear come up, but then walk through it. Walk through it, because on the other side is freedom and happiness. And, you know, it's not easy. It's not an easy journey. But, you know, when you allow that fear to come up and then know that there are options, you don't have to stay locked in it, then
Mhm.
anything's possible.
Yeah. And I would also add that we, at the end of the day, we are not that alone. There is always someone out there, either professional or non-professional, depends on the circumstances are. And there's more help than we can imagine.
Yes.
And we need to allow ourselves to get help, to get
Yes.
assistance,
Yes.
instead
And
of
it
thinking,
is, sorry, I'm sorry.
no,
Finish
no,
your,
yeah, I was saying, instead of thinking that, I'm all alone here. No, we are not. I have received immense help from everywhere that I go, every group that I encountered.
sorry. I just wanted to add that we don't have to feel weak for asking for help. A lot of people feel like, oh, I can't ask. I'm too embarrassed to share this, that I did this, that I have this pain, this whatever. It's allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and know that it's okay. We're human. We've all had these experiences, and finding the right person to trust is important as well.
Yes,
And yeah, that's it.
you too. Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you, Akata.
And yes, I think today with this talk, and we really bring out that I am not alone. Bro, is not alone, and neither do you.
Yeah.
And we need to get, to get all the assistance that is available for us, and just walk on with our journey. And
Yes.
with this, I say goodbye. Thank you, Carol. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, everyone.